Good morning. Another beautiful day in God's kingdom. Today, we're going to continue taking a look at what we find in the book of Genesis. And we're in Genesis chapter 3 as we see the serpent speaking to the woman. And what is it that he says? He says to her, "Has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" And the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die." Then the serpent said to the woman, "You will not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." And so when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. Horrible. All of a sudden, that idyllic life that they had was completely shattered, and everything that they knew basically turned to dust around them. And what is it that we find here? And of course, we blame the woman, and yeah, blame the woman, blame the man. Why couldn't they just keep their hands to themselves, and so on and so forth? But you see, this is something that we see with children, for example. You see, children have a natural curiosity, and it's funny, but it's like the very thing that you say don't touch, the very thing that you say don't go towards, those are the things that they gravitate towards. Those are the things that they want to look at. Don't touch that red button, they want to touch it. Don't go open that cupboard, they want to open it. That is just there, is an instinct that is in us, all of us, a natural curiosity about our environment. That is why we're able to discover things like fire. That's why we're able to discover what herbs what herbs we need to heal a person, what herbs is needed to heal a person, what are the things that are good for food, and so on. I remember watching a documentary or something years ago, so I got the information from someplace anyway, where this person was stuck in a jungle or something, and all he did, how did he survive? He followed the animals, and the berries that the animals ate, he knew must be good for food, so he ate those berries. The leaves that they ate, that kind of thing, those are the things that he ate. And that is because we must have an ability, a capacity to be able to survive in the world that we live in today. That is a healthy curiosity. But you see, anything that wants to use that curiosity, which is what the devil does, to use that curiosity to rebel against God, is a curiosity that you and I must run away from. And that was what Eve failed to do here. You see, it's normal. It's normal for us to want to explore. It's normal for us to want to do those things. We want to conquer environment. God himself said it. He said, have dominion over the environment that you're in. But where the boundaries are, we must not cross those boundaries, and we must know what the boundaries are. And when the Holy Spirit puts a check on you to say, hey, don't do that, don't go there, know that it is for your good, know that it is for your good, for his glory. It is for his, he has a good reason for saying to you, do not do that. Don't talk to that person, or don't take that conversation any further. When he says to you, don't go to that function, stay home. When he says to you, don't, whatever it is that God says, whatever it is that God says you don't do, wherever he says you do not go, listen to me. That is the best place for you to that's the best place for you to avoid. In fact, that is the one thing that you know that you must not do, whatsoever it is that God says don't do. So don't allow your natural curiosity to carry you outside of God's will and purpose for your life. Don't allow your natural curiosity to cause you to offend God. And that, I think, is one of the mistakes that Eve made in this case, or rather the woman, because at this point she's still not called Eve. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.